So, Namaskar all of you. Odisha Civil Service Mains Exam 2025 रो optional test series education optional रो test 5 रो questions आज discuss करिवा. So, जो 13 टा optional हमें provide करूछु ता भितरु education गोटे optional. So, एथरे 16 टा test रोची जोटा कि 3 hours. सबु test गुड़ा 3 hours रो test. प्रथम 10 टा test आपनकर सेक्शनल टेस्ट रोची और लास्ट 6टा टेस्ट आपनकर फुल सिलेबस टेस्ट रोची. तो 3टा बैच हमर आर थिला. फर्स्ट जुलाई रे स्टार्ट हेतिला और सेकंड टा अगस्त 1 रे स्टार्ट हेची और लास्ट बैच टा सेटा अगस्त 10 रे स्टार्ट हो. सो लेट अस गो टू द क्वेश्चंस. क्वेश्चन 5 टेस्ट नंबर 5 एटा एजुकेशन पेपर 1 और सिलेबस रोची. यूनिट 3 सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशंस ऑफ एजुकेशन और यूनिट 4 डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मॉडर्न इंडियन एजुकेशन. लेट अस कम टू द क्वेश्चंस. सेक्शन ए जोटा 15 मार्क क्वेश्चन उडा. क्वेश्चन 1 है, हाउ डज एजुकेशनल सोशियोलॉजी डिफर फ्रॉम जनरल सोशियोलॉजी इन इट्स अप्रोच टू अंडरस्टैंडिंग द रोल ऑफ एजुकेशन विद इन सोसाइटी? How can sociological theories be applied to analyze the impact of social stratification on educational attainment in India? 2A रे देखंतु, in what ways does education function as a social subsystem and how does it interact with other subsystems like economy and politics? How does home environment contribute to educational outcomes? And what sociological factors mediate this relationship? 3A, how does community engagement in Indian society enhance the effectiveness of educational initiatives? 3B, how was the process of modernization influenced educational reforms in post-independence India? Question 4, how do political ideologies shape educational curricula and policies in India? Question 5, how does religious affiliation impact access to education and the content of educational curricula in India? Question 6, how does education contribute to the preservation and transformation of cultural identities in India? Question 7, how does education promote democratic values and practices among citizens in a democratic society? Question 8, how do schools function as agents of socialization and what are the implications for child development? Question 9, how is social change defined within sociological discourse and what are its primary drivers? Question 10, how does the educational system in India reinforce or mitigate social stratification based on caste and class? Question 11, how effective have affirmative action policies been in promoting social equity within India's educational institutions? Question 12, how do factors such as caste, ethnicity, class, religion, language and regionalism act as constraints on social change in India? Section B question 20 mark questions. 13A, what are the primary challenges faced in providing quality education to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, women and rural population in India? 13B, how did colonial educational policies shape the trajectory of India's education system prior to independence? And C, how did Macaulay's Minutes of 1835 contribute to the Anglicization of Indian education and what were its long-term effects on indigenous knowledge systems? Question 14A, how did Wood's Dispatch of 1854 lay the foundation for modern education in India, particularly in terms of access and curriculum structure? 14B, what were the key provisions of the Sargent Plan of 1944 and how did they aim to restructure India's education system for post-independence development? 15A, How did the recommendations of Hartog Committee influence primary and secondary education policies in colonial India? 15b. What structural reforms in higher education were proposed by Calcutta University Commission and how did they impact university education in India? 16a. How did Radhakrishnan Commission shape the structure of higher education in independent India? 16b. How did the recommendation of Secondary Education Commission of 1952-54 contribute to the expansion and reform of secondary education in India? Question 17. Emile Durkheim posited, education is the influence exercised by adult generations on those that are not yet ready for social life. In what ways does this view highlight the role of education in socialization and transmission of social norms? Pierre Bourdieu argued that the function of education is to reproduce the culture of the dominant classes. How does this critique apply to the current educational landscape in India, particularly concerning social stratification? So, it are the 18 questions. So, students जो मैंने join कर चुके अपन माने ताकू PDF करी की गोटे single PDF रे जो नंबर दिया है जेठी 9437002210 एठी की सेंड करी परिबे. I wish you all the best जो मैंने एजुकेशन ऑप्शनल नहीं की अक्टोबर रे मेंस लिखिबे. Thank you all. नमस्कार.